right, so let's talk about the mapping lines of latitude and longitude activity. For this one, gonna need the activity and some colored pencils. So let's get started. So for the first part, it has you do some of the important lines of latitude and longitude on the globe. So for example, you'll color the equator blue and the prime meridian red. If you don't know where these lines are, Google is your friend. You should know them from your lecture class, but if not, then you can find out where they are. So for example, the Tropic of Capricorn is at 23.5 degrees. So it wouldn't be on the 20 degrees, it would be below that a little bit. So take a look at a map that shows that. So that's that part. Let's see here, draw a circle around a city on the equator. So once you have a line at the equator, should be able to find, excuse me, a city. What is the city that is nearest to 40 degrees north and 5 degrees west? So let's do that one on this activity. I'm going to take out my purple little pen here so it's easier to see. So 40 degrees north, so that's latitude. So it's going to be somewhere along this line here. That says north, and 5 degrees west. So west would be to this side of the prime meridian. So here's the prime meridian, which should have been colored red. And so it says what city is near this. It looks like on the 40, yep, looks like Madrid. So we would just write Madrid like that. Give the location of Olmsted. So it's here, it's right on those two lines. So 60 degrees north. And down here, it says 120 degrees east. Just like that. And then you're supposed to draw a dot and label A through E. So that's the first page. Okay. Second page. So use the following map to find the latitude and longitude to the nearest degree of the following islands in Oceania. Be sure to indicate north or south, east or west. So one of the things I personally like to do is I like to put in my equator. And then if there is a, this would be the, well, split 180 degrees east or 180 degrees west. So if it's on this side, it's like 179 east. And if it's on this side, it'd be 179 west. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. So looking for Tonga, Tonga would be here. So it's this box right here, essentially. It's the island country within that region there. So you just want to pick something that's along there. So it looks like it's like, well, I don't know, if this line here is 160 west, based on its distance from this. So this is 160 east, and it's about the same distance to the right of 180 degrees east-west. It's both. So if it's on that line, you can call it east or west. It's the same thing. So I would say it's about halfway between be like 170. So I'm going to say 172. 172. And that would be west. And then latitude is north and south. So it looks like it's above. So I'm going to say it's like 18. And that would be south. So that's how you do this one. All right. So, do a couple of those. The next one, same idea, South America. This time you're going to be given the latitude and longitude. So 11 degrees north. So again, here's my equator. No prime meridian on this one, because that would be out in the Atlantic Ocean, pretty far away from here. So 11 degrees north, going to be above the line. and 67. So let's see here. I'm gonna get out my glasses here. Oh, here's 70. So 67 would be to the right of this, and 11. This is 10. So it looks like it's Caracas. So we would write Caracas. Just like that. So far so good. Cool. The following should be done using a globe. So you're going to use a virtual globe. And that virtual globe is going to be Google Earth. Now, I don't want you to use just Google it. I really want you to use Google Earth. So let me go ahead and switch applications here. All right, so we're going to go to earth.google.com. It helps if you spell it correctly. There we go. And we're going to use Google Earth as our virtual globe. So let's zoom out, because if you haven't opened up this before, this is what it'll look like. It'll be like way out here in space, which is perfect. The first thing that we need to do is we need to go to the settings. So let's see here. We click on the little 3 lines and we go to settings. We want to change our units of measurement to feet and miles, just because that's what we're used to. And for latitude and longitude, we're going to go with decimal degrees for right now. Change it later. See. All right, first place we need to find is Chicago, Illinois. So Illinois, Chicago, look at, there it is. Why is it not showing me decimal degrees? Oh, I forgot to turn that. Sorry. Let's see, that is going to be found under map style. So you click on the little pieces of paper over here, and you want to turn on the grid lines. That'll give us these nice little squares so that we can do our little thing here. Now, if we were on a globe, you probably would not get this precise. Globe's small, but because we can zoom in for days, the numbers can get, you know, more and more precise. As you can see, I can get all the way down to fractions of decimal degrees, right? So I don't really want that. I want you to look at it at a scale that you can kind of see most of the city, and I want you to go ahead and write down what its latitude and longitude is. So latitude again is north and south, so it looks like it's 41.9. That's about as, you know. And our longitude, that's our east and west. In this case, we're in the Western Hemisphere. So we'll just go with 87.7 west. It's like that. So then you got to find Tokyo, Japan. Oh, and you can get rid of this little thing by clicking that little arrow. All right, so now we're going over here. We're going to find Japan. There's Japan. Now we're looking for Tokyo. There's Tokyo. You do the same thing. So Tokyo's like up here. So it looks like it's about 135.5. So 35, I think I said 35, 135. I meant 35 north. And then it looks like, let's say 140 east, like that. So that's how you do that one. And then you'll do it backwards. So you'll be given a latitude and longitude. So 14 degrees north. So that's going to be down here. So we're at 21.5, 14 north, and 100 east. So that's going to be way over here. Probably would have been faster if I would have zoomed out. Could have gotten there faster. 14 north and 100 east. Why, look at that. 14 north, 100 east. It's about Bangkok. So remember, these are really meant for you to be spinning around on a globe. So we're using a virtual globe. So being this far zoomed out is perfectly fine. In fact, if you were this far zoomed out for doing the activity for, you know, the cities, you would have been fine. So we're just going to write Bangkok. Just like that. All right. Now, the next thing it asks you to do is convert numbers from decimal degrees to degrees, minutes, seconds. So let me go ahead and do that. So let me go ahead and pull that back up. Okay. So let me go ahead and explain kind of sort of how this works. All right. So the first one is we're going to take degrees, minutes, and seconds and turn it into decimal degrees. Now, there is a video on how to do this, a short one that you could watch if you haven't watched it already. But the first thing you have to do is convert it from degrees, minutes, seconds to decimal degrees. And the first one's kind of done for you. I'm going to use the smaller pen only so that it's easier to read. But let me explain how it works in case you didn't go through the other video. So what you do is you take your degrees, minutes, seconds values. So we're going to do this first one together. So 31 degrees, 4 minutes, and 49.05 seconds. Okay. So 31, that whole number, you're gonna take, the way it works is, here, let me just give you the formula. Decimal degrees to, degrees, minutes, seconds to decimal degrees, sorry. Okay. So you're going to take the whole number. So in this case, this first number, 31. So the way it works is 31 plus the number of minutes, so 4 divided by 60, plus the quantity of 49.05 divided by 3,600. Okay. So 31 plus 4 divided by 60. So I'm going to need a calculator, aren't I? Yes, I am. Let me pull up the calculator. Okay, so we have 4 divided by 60. I get 0.0666, and it just keeps repeating. And then 49.05 divided by 3,600. And the reason why we divide by 3,600 is that's the number of seconds in a degree. So there's 60 minutes in a degree, and there are 3,600 seconds, which is 60 times 60. So there's 60 seconds in a minute and 60 minutes in an hour. So the way it works is kind of the same as time does in this particular case. So I get 0.013625. And I want to keep a good portion of that number. As you can see here, I have a pretty good sized number there. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit my plus sign for that. And I'm going to come back and I'm going to add this 0.0. And I'm going to put in 5 sixes, 2, 3, 4. We'll put in 4 sixes and a 7. And I get 31.080292. So as it says on the worksheet. Okay. And we do the same thing with the second. So if we have 3 degrees, 59 minutes, 15.59 seconds. It's 3 plus the quantity of 59 divided by 60 plus 15.59 divided by 3,600. Now, sometimes your calculator will be able to do this, but I always do it in multiple steps. So I'm just going to do on my calculator 59 divided by 60.9833 plus, and it's a repeating 3, so I can put a whole bunch of 3s in later on. 15.59 divided by 3600. I get 0.004330555555, and it keeps repeating. But because it's in my calculator still, I can just hit my plus symbol and come back and add this. So plus 0.983333. Right? And so I end up with 987, sorry, 66. So what did I get? 664. So yeah, 664, 6635. So 664 is good. Okay. And then once I have those two numbers converted, I would then go and you can type them into Google this time. So let me show you what that looks like. Why isn't it showing me? Hold on, I'm sorry. That's weird. I went to share the screen with you and it's not, oh, there's the option. There we go. Share. Okay. So now we're going to go, and this time we're going to actually type in the numbers. So for this one, you just type in 31.0802, comma, 3.987664. And what you'll see is we are not going to end up where we think we are. What does it say on our Google map we're at? We're at 31, blah, blah, blah. This says east, and we're supposed to be at west, right? And so one important thing is just like on the number line, like in math, on the number line in math, like the XY coordinate system, this is your X and this is your Y. They're both positive here. So if you were to write in the coordinate system, they'd both be positive. So, but in geography, this is the prime meridian and this is the equator, right? And down here, it would be a positive X, X, but a negative Y because we're below the equator. So, right. And then here it would be negative, because we're to the left, and this one it would be negative, positive, because we're still above. Right. So, oh, sorry. Let me say that again. Strike that. See, even teachers make mistakes. All right. This is my X and Y coordinate system. Okay. In this coordinate system, they're both positive, right? Okay, so we live in the northern and western hemisphere. So north is a positive number, but western, because it's to the left of the prime meridian, essentially, it's going to be a negative number. Okay, so north and east are positive numbers. West and south are negative numbers. So if I'm in the southwest down here, they're both negative, right? And then as far as south is concerned, so our south, make it a negative number, but because we're in the eastern hemisphere, it would be a positive number. So you have to remember that north and east are positive, and then south and west are negatives. So we have to put a negative number in when we type this into our thing. So let's go back here, and I will flip back to my other screen. And So this time I'm going to put a negative in here. See where I end up. Not too much further away, just for the record, because we were at 3 to the east, but we really need to be 3 to the west. So in this particular case, what we're in, a big giant pile of sand, wouldn't have made much of a difference. But a lot of other times it is. So you want to make sure that the numbers here reflect the numbers on your worksheet. And so for these, because they are kind of, how should we say, there's a lot of steps to them, you really only need to do a couple of them, just to show that you know how to convert from convert to decimal degrees, and then B, how to use those numbers in the Google. And you need to include screenshots that shows where these places are. So in this particular case, you know, you'd have something like this, and you would just take a screenshot, which is just Alt print screen. You can use snip if you have a Windows computer. So yeah, 2 of those. And if you need more help with the converting to decimal degrees, there's a separate video in the resources section that helps with that. It'll also help with this. So let me show you the math on doing that part too. All right, so if you have decimal degrees and you need to make it into degrees, minutes, seconds, what you do is this. The first thing you do, so we'll do this first one together, 25.0032 north and 55.0204 east. All right, so the first thing you do is you take this whole number, and that's going to be your degrees. It's just 25 degrees. Okay, then we're going to take this part, right, and we are going to multiply it by 60. So to get the minutes, so 0.0032 times 60. We need my calculator again. 0.0032 times 60. We get 0.192. Right. This second part, this whole number, which happens to be 0 in this particular case, is the number of minutes. So we're now at 25 degrees, 0 minutes. We're going to take this part here, and we're going to multiply it by 60 again. So times 60. We get 11.52. Those are our seconds. Right? And do the same thing with this. Take the whole number, and bring that down to 55 degrees. Take this part, multiply it by 60. 0.0204 times 60 is 1.224. And take this part, multiply it by 60. And then we'll get 13.44 seconds. So that's our answer for that one. And so again, we're going to use this information to figure out where we are. So we're in the northern and eastern hemisphere. So if I go back to my Google and zoom out. Here, let's get rid of this. Make sure the world's right side up again. 25 degrees north. So here's 25 degrees north and 55 degrees east. So that's going to be over here somewhere. Here's 25 north. I haven't gotten to 55 east yet. Here's 55 east-ish. Here's 50. So it looks like Abu Dhabi. All right, look at that. Looks like some hotel, some Palms Hotel. I forget what these are called. They're like called Palm Islands or something like that. 55.02. 0.02, and then 55.0032. So yeah, it looks like one of these, like, you know, some Abu Dhabi beach resort. Something like that. Okay. And again, just do a couple of those to show that you know how to do it. All right. That's all I got to do for this activity. Good luck.